the official last week, and we had a pretty decent turnout, although a lot of people had denied it, so I'm going to say it again. Whoever hasn't clicked yes, click yes if you're going to be here. Click no if you don't plan to, if you cannot do this, so that you don't get any further notifications about that. And I want to know how many people are not coming, so that I can plan and invite help alongside with me. Now, everything seems to be falling nicely into place. It's just one little wrinkle that might be a fly in the ointment. The concert's on the Saturday of 21st. There's this ocean conference in Nice, in France, between the 9th and 13th. That's the week before that week of the concert. So there's going to be one Wednesday when I'm going to be in Nice, because it looks like I need to travel to this mission this year.
What a time to go. There's going to be a missing rehearsal or something.
Then I've been in the UN. I haven't had yet travel. I was hoping to retire soon after living and working in New York and only for more than 30 years, not traveling. That's a golden unicorn at the end. Not one single person in professional hospitality has ever done that. I mean, there may be general service people who haven't much around or haven't traveled mission, but and now it looks like if there's money. So I may actually have to recruit somebody to replace me for that one Wednesday before the week after that, when I come back, we will have Tuesday and Wednesday, the final two rehearsals with the soloist and the chorus. I'll be there for that, and then the concert's going to be on Saturday. Now, there's been some discussion with Craig here about making one of those 2 dates, or probably Wednesday, a public dress rehearsal of sorts at his school. Was that the way? Did I understand that correctly?
Yes.
It came to me indirectly.
Yes.
So, if everybody's game for that, I think that might be a very, very useful thing for us. I don't think it will cannibalize ticket sales. I mean, we'll make sure that we advertise this and sell tickets in advance. But it might be very useful for us to do it in a different way. The school is downtown 22nd Street.
Near Gramercy Park.
This is where we did the Theater of the Wolf in October. Okay, so that's that. That's the wrinkle, the ointment and the fine ointment. But otherwise, everything is good. So let's move to the fourth movement. We're going to start in the middle and then go back to the beginning, because I want our friend Alex sitting here doing nothing while we were playing this other company. Because in his inexplicable working is better than gross football, but only the fourth movement and only the second five of the tempo. The rest of the symphony, people just sitting there and watching us play. Not nearly as bad as the New World Symphony for tuba, because that guy plays 16 bars in second movement only. 8 bars in the beginning and 8 bars at the end, and that's all the tuba plays in the New World Symphony, and he has to sit the whole thing. So, so we're all in tune, we're all good. It's 7:10. Let's begin. From line number 331, Alla marcia, allegro, assai vivace. Right?
Wait, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. You were saying?
Where the continuous tune comes in. People is not the only one waiting. Allegro, assai. Vivace, alla marcia. No, 331. 331 is the bar number. Which, if somebody is paying attention, means that I had actually made an effort to write these bar numbers in that sort.
Thank you. Well done. Time well spent.
Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, not all the way through the end. Some of it, maybe towards the end, I got interrupted because it was work.
Did you manage to make a master score?
But
Can't you use my score?
that part has plenty.
Probably a good idea. I have done nothing.
So, here we go. It starts in pianissimo.
Worse than the kids.
All right?
It's the holiday, it's the vacation.
We're gonna take
That means I'm supposed to work twice as hard.
All right? So, counting down to the bottom.
All right.
1, 2, 1, 4, 1. Very soon, yes. All right, you're the one that plays, but there's nothing in the first part. All right, let's try one more time from the same.
I don't know what you're saying.
I think it's okay, just Steve was there.
Oh.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1. 8. I'm sorry, Grace. I didn't get your information, but you can share the stuff with Joyce and just maybe a little extra space there. All right. So I would like to go back just because the last few bars here were.
Do you still agree with what you wrote?
When we get to
Right.
the fortissimo.
Please correct it during the number.
Oh, no.
Is all good?
No, not yet.
So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I was a
7,
different person back then.
8 before K. It's right down at that fortissimo.
1, 2, 3, 4,
422.
5, 6, 7.
No, 423.
Yeah.
423.
Acht.
Two bars. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Trips aside for some reason. Even though it's not that difficult.
Is K in the bar with the sforzato, or is K in the bar right before them?
It's I'm starting in the bar that has fortissimo. 423.
Sorry, I don't have numbers and I don't have fortissimo.
That's then 8 before K. And K is in the bar where you have spatato. Or 1 before 7 fortissimo. You're not getting
Are you
K?
playing everything on the G string?
Okay.
Actually, I do agree with what I wrote there.
All
I
right.
changed my mind.
Is it the part that I had transcribed, or and I haven't put in the bar?
The person back then was just as smart.
Sorry?
Different bar numbers.
But it's
Different numbers? They don't match?
Okay.
Okay.
That 4-1 is in one position.
And
then here-
Consolidate to make sure that it matches.
but then
These three are in first position.
Friday's a day off, so.
Yeah,
And
but
then
then
that's up.
All right, so let's wait. I want to make sure that you guys are, there's something that's tripping up. So 8-4, K, one more time, just the words in the back.
1, 4. Because it's all.
Okay.
1, 2, yeah. Don't worry, yes, I just have to miss, but that's okay. So some pictures of everybody. Alright. Okay, so let's do the same thing, everybody, and then continue on and see how it goes. 423. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we would like to get this crescendo develop a little bit from the beginning at the very beginning, but there's a lot of. Somebody's asking.
I apologize if we've gone over this during a different rehearsal, but at 421, that whole row, we
Yes.
have 2 sharps. At the beginning, the presna here,
The key signature.
yes, the key signature, there's 2 sharps. And the rest is all flats, and there's no indication that there's a change. Is that a printing error, or is that genuinely?
There was, we were all 2 flats all the way through.
Okay, well, in all of our scores, and the one at home as well, it's 2 sharps, just so you know, so it must be a printing error.
That is the original edition that we got from.
Sometimes when it pulls the cues in,
No, I know, that
and
must be.
the cues are from a transposing instrument, I've made that mistake.
Yep, that's really weird. That's really weird. Okay, so instead of those 2 sharps,
It's just 2 flats.
it's 2 flats. Everything else stems because all the other accidentals along the way are mined 2 flats. Thank you. That's weird. That's really weird. I'm not from the list. All right. Well, let's do it. So let's do the same thing. 423. Everybody. Fortissimo, right? 1 bar. 1 and 2. Because we're taking this a little bit slower than normal. We don't have to rush. So they have it. Alright.
28 is
Let's begin
improbable.
directly from K. Alright. 1 and 2.
Lost it.
substitute here.
Was I early?
And
No.
this is probably
You were right on
the
time.
single really gruesome part.
Gruesome.
This is just. I just don't see how I can be ready on time for sure.
But,
It's true because there's parts of it that are easy, but then there's these little nuggets that are.
There's a. I think I can manage half. My numbering goes to 37, and I have half of them I can play at 60, 70.
This one is this one is I find almost complicated.
1 and 2. 1, 2, the E natural. Alright?
E flat.
E flat. Alright? 1 and 2.
Are we supposed to play together, or are they?
I don't know, something's off
Thrown
though.
off a little bit here
It's the
because
same thing that happened the
for the
first
most
time.
part, the melody makes sense. Da 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 da. But here, some of you don't start on the beat. You start in the middle of the bar,
See, I think it
which
is.
kind of throws other people off. So be careful when you're counting, not to be thrown off by that. So let's begin from that. Maybe a little layer down the road for 60. 472, all right?
77, 6, 5, 4, 3,
C flat, D flat, you know, you love this stuff.
E flat.
Okay? Everybody with me 472?
Mm-hmm.
1 and 2.
Well, if you were not listening.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Only
I
something.
think I forgot to blink.
Yeah, well, I think I forgot to breathe.
Oh my god.
This is a
I know, I mean, you guys.
my
eyes.
My wrists are already tired.
Morocco.
Oof.
Just the strings, okay?
Hold on,
You guys are
hold on,
used to
hold on,
singing
hold on.
in octaves, everybody. So, if you're uncertain,
Oh my
take
goodness.
it, nobody will notice. There's like 50 people playing the same stuff. Except. There you go.
Okay, relax, relax.
Alright, so fortissimo.
Just notes.
Ah, and it's fortissimo.
That's what it says.
Why?
Eventually get them to, you know. I know
Relax, that's what I
we
said.
get bounce a little bit because when we get them in the proper tempo, they take a little bit too fast for that, but they need to be really sharply and precise. They take the thing. Alright.
Only this is
You're right.
placato, right?
1 and 2. Wow.
Nightmare. I don't know when you
Yeah.
Okay, one more time.
never two or three at the same front.
80 people in the chorus are singing out with full fortissimo, full throttle, very high range.
God, you can sing louder. Hide us. Yeah?
Air bass for that part?
What'd you say?
Air bass for that part?
Airbase?
Yeah, like.
Wait, you're gonna leave this all on me? Can't all airbase.
On now from here,
Excuse me.
andante maestoso. All right?
Oh, that sounds nice.
Some demos here.
Oh yeah, we can play that.
Oh, my so-so. That sounds.
595, yes.
Yeah, we can play that.
So now, this is actually in 3. The last time we played this, I kind of took it a little too slow. We just need to make sure that we get those 8 notes later on properly. It's in 3. 1, 2, 3, 1.
Is your audience commiserating?
What are you looking for?
It's mostly my students. They've been asking me to live stream the rehearsals that they're in, and then they go back and watch them.
Yeah?
Tricking them into watching it. But they love it. They go back and they watch and they practice along with it.
Yeah, it's
All right,
It's a new
so
world.
here's tempo. 1, 2, 3.
Did I write those bowlings in?
Cut it off.
I think
I
we
see.
did that together.
Right, so let's do this
I
from
see.
the end directly, all right?
You're gonna want this to be the up bow here. Don't drop the bass, Craig. Where did he say?
Norway.
And?
And Norway.
See now. Still not right.
The bowing is not right. The bowing is
Doesn't feel right. Okay.
Let's try this. Don't really change tempo much. This is supposed to be slightly slower, but not really significantly.
Yeah, no, that should be up. I just have to remember to do this.
It's not default, not default. It's right there. Just up there.
Oh, the high. Okay.
Start, yes.
Slowly, but not too much.
Right.
Mono
So,
tempo.
what I would like to do is just
Words
get
to
that.
live by.
Now, and mind you, along the way, there are
Particularly it's
things
gonna be
we're
my
talking
next
here and
tattoo.
there. So we
Melon
want to
chocolate.
articulate those
It's a
as we
good one.
go along. I mean, it's all very choral, very,
Multi,
like
mono,
sostenuto, very legato, but there are a few spots, few notes here and there that we need to upset. So let's not go back right now, let's do the same. We're trying to move on, but maybe 2 bars before Adagio troppo di lotto, which would be, there you go. Okay.
Said 35?
I said
1, 2, and 30, and 1, Rubber band, energico, sempre ben marcato.
And always,
6 per, right?
always in the gala.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, zaga, 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 zaga.
And then, yeah.
Manon drop.
Manon drop. Manon drop
Right,
pas.
proper tempo, it's
Yeah, German. Why don't I just write German? Tedesco.
So let's just make sure that we get those triplets in the end correctly because it was a little bit all over the place. So I'll take, we have Allegro Energico Sempre Ben Marcato, 6/4. Now I'm taking 1, 2, 3.
Did you talk to him about the choir? Or?
8 bars before that.
No, I did not. He did mention the school.
Eight before that.
Everybody wants to do it. So.
Yeah? That's great.
Oh, yeah. One more thing to organize, but I'm really excited for that.
So
You said you had time. I
I'm
volunteered
going
you.
to make this happen.
6:47. There you go.
47, 48. That's where we start.
1.
It's easier to play a little softer, and it'll be in tune. As long as you're in tune.
So this is what's going to happen. Well, after the fermata, we stop fermata and 1. Da, da, ba, ba, ba. Okay, because everybody has that bar in, right? There's a big
Yes.
Yes. I'm going to start from the beginning of that bar, and you come in, the rest of you come in on the downbeat of the
Okay.
So, fermata, stop. 1, 2, 3,
That's way too fast. And it's C sharp, so
It says fortissimo. It doesn't write anything louder than
you're
that.
still playing this on the G string and that on the B
So let's
string.
do one more time. Maybe I'll try a little faster.
Beethoven did a cello copy paste. It's easy on the cello.
Here you go. And
I'll just
1,
watch
2,
you.
3, 5.
Should we adjust the first or the sixth or it goes super fine? I might end up doing that.
I plan to get these up to speed, but for now, I'm just playing the starts.
That's what I'm doing too.
From the beginning,
I'm also planning to
all
bring
the
them up
way
to
through
speed
R.
one day.
To
But
R,
not
rather.
Mother
There's a
trope.
lot to practice. Not at all times, everybody, but at times, somebody has to practice. There's always somebody doing the sextuplets, and they are really grueling. So we can play with this a little slower, just so we can all read through the notes on our own, a little bit more comfortably. Right, and maybe,
Make it last longer.
all right. There's for students in the back that have a lot of this stuff, but otherwise, everybody else is.
Huh?
All right, let's try it a little slower. Guys in the back, if you don't have to play and mark it or just follow along. This is really no challenge for the strings primarily. Let's go. Allegro energico, sempre ben marcato. All right. Same for allegro energico from that pickup. So, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Everything we're not playing super fast, we're vibrating super hard.
Yes. Yeah. Make sure it's in tune now. Intonation's very wobbly. Same thing.
Cut that rest shorter when you have this palm waiting for the next one. Pop palm. That pop palm comes in a little too soon. So this is just a clear dance. Wait, fill them down and then come in the last beat again. All right.
Absolutely.
1, 2, 3, 4. In the strings, these notes are half notes on each downbeat. They're not longer. We tend to extend them a little too long. Ba ba. No, just a half note, because there is later on he does write a dotted half note when the forte arrives. So he wants to make that distinction clear. So let's begin. So make that shorter. Almost as short as before. Just a little bit longer. So, ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. We need to have that empty space between them very clear so we can hear what the pronunciation is. All right, directly one more time. 1 and 2. Means bucket, not louder, right? So as we come close to the end, we are actually
Is that right?
I don't know.
All right, so after this fermata, allegro, ma non tanto.
It doesn't really help.
Everybody tries to rush ahead here.
These might be things I copied from the
From the net here, from what did they tell?
All right, so let's do
what they were smoking.
Got it.
So we're in 2. Allegro ma non tanto. 1 and 2. Because the guys in the back have taka, which is a little bit difficult to articulate together from. So let's see it from the beginning of the
We're playing 2 months.
Right?
8 weeks.
Let's see if we can catch up. We can stay together.
And 5 days.
Right?
4.5 hours.
Same allegro and tanto. 1 and 2 and very small. This is suddenly molto adagio, not just poco, but very, very adagio. So it's essentially 1 and 2 and 1 and ta-da, 1, 2, 3,
Ma non tanto.
Ma non tanto, ma non tanto poco.
We're going to 4 now.
Ah, which one are you going to shoot? Ma non tanto
Poco
o non
adagio is
poco?
actually is in 4.
Ma non tanto troppo.
The all of the above.
And then tempo primo is again back to the same tempo. Pam 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 ta-da-dam, pam 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 pa-da-dam. And we have exactly the same thing happening again with poco adagio. Later on, all right? So let's do one more time.
Do this. I know I can do this.
Sure you
Let's do from S. All right?
I'm not sure I can, but I'm sure you can.
I need like 3 more years.
Serbia. Serbia.
Where do you want to go?
Again? Where?
S.
S.
SS. Four lines down.
Oh, I know that.
The SSO now.
1 and 2. Now, this fortissimo,
It's the
at the end of this big crescendo on the piano,
Over shifting on this
we
one.
have to land on that
Oh, no, it's
fortissimo
not exactly.
together. And it's a tricky one because it's a syncopation that
Yeah,
starts
it's
on
exactly the
half
same.
the
Sorry,
beat.
sorry, sorry.
So we have
Oh, but this is flat and this is sharp.
right?
That's the difference.
So it's a long one.
So
So
is
it's
that
a
the thing I
one,
missed?
I'm sure you didn't.
right?
That one before is piano,
Yeah.
just one note,
Yes, just one note.
crescendo to fortissimo on one half note.
Wow.
Yeah, well, give it to Beethoven to do this. So let's do the same thing. We have the same thing before poco adagio in S. There's also the same sudden piano crescendo fortissimo. Right? You guys in the back have also da 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 pam pa pa. Right? Da 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 pam pa da da pam pa. The biggest trick is really getting that fortissimo note that's really, really long. Ram pa da ram pam pa da ram pam, all the way through the end of the bar. So let's do back from S. So yeah, right? 1 and 2.
hold down that?
Yeah, I think so.
Now, he does say poco allegro stringendo il tempo sempre più allegro, alright? So, we start poco allegro, not too fast, allegretto maybe. And then we're no, we're starting to. No need to start in 4 because it's fairly set properly. So after the fermata, and 1, 1, 1, 1. And 1, and 2, and 1.
Yep.
That actually reads itself. Surprisingly.
Yeah.
Before that, look at the key signatures and be careful about
Giddy up.
right? All the sharps and most
And then there's all the fun.
And then there's this.
Yeah, this. Or that.
all right? So
I don't know exactly what to call it.
So let's begin from that poco allegro one more time.
Molto poco.
Tempo sempre allegro.
Right?
2.
I don't know how you do it. This thing is even worse than what the thing we had before.
I'm glad it looks like I'm doing it.
Yeah, you're doing it. You're doing it more than I
I
am.
would like to go through these
My goal's about 90%.
messages in run.
Are your students freaking out right now?
Just a little bit
When they
slower,
see you
Probably
play
when
like
I
that?
see them on Monday,
Just so we can,
yeah, it'll be.
get them right. I hadn't actually reached this far with the bar numbers yet,
Page
so I'm
25.
gonna do this tomorrow, but
It's the last
let's
one.
see how do we find where we start.
But we started with the last movement. We're playing the first afterwards
We only started with the second half
of the first.
of the last meeting.
Yeah, yeah. And you're playing the first afterwards.
Light fan for Wednesday night. 887. Measure 887. 83, 4, 5, 6 T.
That's exactly what I wanted to start.
I thought he had all the bar numbers.
Actually, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Start from
Should I poke the
T.
bear?
Okay? T. Well, Trinidad was what I was thinking about. Right, well, there's also Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan.
Tibet. I went to the Tibet and I was for the samba last week.
You did?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Super fun.
For what? Just to visit?
Sound bath.
For what?
Sound bath.
Sound bath.
Yeah.
That's cool.
One and two.
use it all up now. I need to save it for the concert.
All right.
So is he
So
slowing
let's
it down?
try directly that much.
It feels like he is, right?
Slower than that. I mean, can they sing it? I think they can. 2 and 3 and.
Disappointing ending. But
It is, right?
I don't you feel like maybe like a rock star when you play with last measures, like
It is, yeah.
there's a kind of thing like that.
Last week.
Rock on!
Yeah. You blame Dragonetti for all that crap.
Say it again?
You blame Dragonetti for all that crap.
Oh, yes? Yeah. He made it look easy, right?
It's not because he didn't look good. He lived in the times of Beethoven, and he met Beethoven.
Really?
Beethoven was in his late 20s.
He met Dragonetti.
Yes, they met.
Dragonetti would have been older by now?
He was doing a tour of Europe. He got to Vienna. They met. He played with him.
Really?
He did the sonata, cello sonata, Beethoven cello sonata on the bass. Beethoven was like, wow, you can do that on the bass? Oh my dear.
Wow.
Which is why he started writing that stuff. He was the first to actually split up bass and cellos in the orchestra.
Was he? Do you know if Dragonetti was playing on a 3-string bass or a?
No. I mean, he was a. How's it?
No, there's always that crossover time in there, wasn't there?
No,
Yes, there was no E string for a long time.
Because it was in fifths. There were 3 strings and it was in fifths,
that
which made it easier to play cello music.
Also, but it made it more difficult to actually technically execute with the such
Right,
huge,
yeah.
The fewer strings, the louder each string.
That's fascinating.
Charles plays like that. He plays the.
Yeah.
Play like cello.
That's right. He was saying he has a bass tuned in fifths.
He plays it like cello.
Yeah. Hey, whatever works, right?
The first time I met the Japanese guy, right? We were playing bass together in a gigantic orchestra, and he was still reading off of scores.
No, Uta.
He was originally a bass player.
Utah, sorry. He like can read, but his like reading off the scores is incredible.
Reading off the
Yeah.
score.
Do you ever see? He's on his iPad. He's reading the whole score.
Oh, yeah. From the orchestra score, yes.
Yeah, it's just brilliant.
Well, when you have an iPad and you have a pedal, you don't have to worry about 50 pages.
Yeah, it is helpful, but still sometimes it's tiny.
This is supposed to be like 7.5 millimeters, scores of 4.5 millimeters.
Yeah, the problem is because these aren't standard pages and the margins, when you take that big 11 by whatever and you shrink it down to an 8.5 by 11, this is. And then when you have the double stabs, it gets like. It's fun. It's a good puzzle. I've been asking everybody I know if you do need
Well,
one.
here's what I'm going to do. Here's what we're actually doing, which what we decided was the simplest way. We're going to put together a sign-up sheet on Google form. All the singers are going to be required to come prepared to essentially know the
Learn their
score.
parts,
They don't
yeah.
have to memorize them, but they need to know, so they don't have to read through them. We'll have maybe about 4 or 5 rehearsals with the chorus separately, and then join the orchestra. So whoever signs up, we will rehearse. If none of the choruses can actually logistically figure out the spacing, we can do it Saturday afternoons here. This is available, and we have a keyboard that we can use for that. And I'm willing to, my doctors are open, I can do this. But I think we'll have that morning power master for next minute. She's actually excited, she wants to do this, so if she does it, then I want to.
Actually, now I'm thinking of like 2 other people I can ask. The one that I said I'm sorry?
The choir that you said were available, would they have a choir master also? Because we're not
Probably.
sure about the choir master yet, if I understand.
Let's
Let me press him again. What day is today? I'll see him on Sunday, but I can ask.
We have a 16 now.
Let me ask again. And I actually am thinking of two other people I can ask that can almost certainly find me a choir. Us, a choir, sorry.
I'm just waiting for the name of the tenor before we can submit it to the service.
What's logical?